Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Objective Media. If you're new here, what this is it's a news source that is unbiased. We provide you with unbiased news and objective facts. We are going to be doing a couple videos today, going over some pretty interesting stories that I thought you guys would be interested in. Remember, no opinion on this. I do host other channels, though. If you want to check out Dylan's Daily Show or the Two Savage Democrats podcast, you can do that. I also run an Instagram page with 174,000 followers. That is 2_savage_4_Democrats. You can check that out as well. But for here, leave my opinions at the door because we're now entering the Objective Media area. I just realized I was going down like the Bill O'Reilly no spin zone situation, but I'm toning that down. We're not doing that. We're not following in Bill O'Reilly's footsteps here because I don't want to Anyway, so the first story I want to get to that I think you guys are going to be interested in is this story. The Treasury is set to run out of money, according to the Congressional Budget Office. Now, this is an interesting situation. It has to do with the whole debt ceiling controversy, and there's a lot of people who are worried about this. So I thought I'd bring it to you guys as a video so we can kind of discuss what this means and everything like that. So the Treasury is set to run out of cash in October, which may lead to a default on debt obligations or payments delays for government programs, according to a report from the Congressional Budget Office, which is a nonpartisan organization, which doesn't sound good, right? Obviously, doesn't sound good when they're talking about running out of money, having to default on debt, not being able to pay, obligations and things like that. That doesn't sound good, So that is definitely. On March 15th, 2017, the suspension of the debt limit expired, and since then, the Treasury has been able to borrow additional funds without violating the debt ceiling. Quote, the Congressional Budget Office projects that if the debt limit remains unchanged, those measures will be exhausted, and the Treasury will most likely run out of cash in early to mid-October, the report states. The government would then be unable to pay its obligations fully, so it would have to delay making payments for its programs and activities, default on its debt obligations, or both. That's if we don't raise the debt ceiling, which is going to be a huge debate. I already know that this is going to be a huge debate because it always is. You have the Democrats just saying, oh, spend. And then you've got the Republicans saying, no, we need to start saving. And it's a battle every single time. Now, usually the Democrats win and we end up raising the debt ceiling. We'll see what happens now that Trump is in office. Don't want to speculate on that because I don't know. But we will see. It'll definitely be interesting to see how this debt ceiling situation goes now that Trump is in office. But here are some statistics. I know you guys maybe know this, but it's just stunning. Currently, the federal deficit stands at $693 billion, which is an increase of $134 billion than what it projected in January. The federal government has an outstanding debt of $19.8 trillion, almost $20 trillion, which includes $14.3 trillion in public deficit and $5.5 trillion held by government accounts. Absolutely overwhelming, absolutely insane. Just thinking about that, it's brutal. I mean, that's brutal. How are we ever going to pay that off? It's insane. We just have to start little by little. I mean, it accumulated over time. One president didn't do all that. One president added a lot of it. Objectively, President Obama added more to the debt than all of his past presidents, all of the past presidents combined. He added more to the debt. That's just an objective fact, not being partisan here. That's the fact. Okay. But again, this is just an accumulation of policies put in place by FDR, LBJ, wars that the Republicans got us into, like the Iraq situation that we're in right now. It's just things add up and you run into problems like this. So I think the best way to fix it is to, same way, little by little, chip at it and try to bring it down. You're never going to pay that off though. Spending on major government programs such as Social Security and Medicare caused the amount of borrowing to increase. For example, payments to Medicare Advantage and Medicare Part D plans will total $23 billion. Spending on Social Security benefits will total roughly $23 billion, and funds for active duty military recipients of supplemental security income will total roughly $25 billion. Now, a lot of people, they don't want to touch the money going to the vets and the people that are in the military. You don't want to touch that because it's just like they're serving the country. So I doubt that's going to be touched. According to the report, unless the debt limit is raised, the Treasury will not be able to issue additional debt. Could have guessed that was what I was going to say. Quote, the restriction would ultimately lead to delays of payments for government programs and activities, a default on the government debt obligations, or both, the budget office said. Quote, CBO estimates that without an increase in the debt limit, the Treasury, by using all available extraordinary measures, would most likely be able to continue borrowing and have sufficient cash to make its unused payments until mid-October of this year. Now, the Freedom Caucus is already saying, nope, we're not doing it. We are not going to raise the debt ceiling. Other people in Congress are more open-minded about it. It's going to be interesting to see where this goes. I know that it's a controversial topic, raising the debt ceiling. A lot of people don't want to talk about it. You don't want to touch it, but we'll see what happens. I'm not going to predict what's going to happen, like I said earlier, but I'm just presenting the facts to you. But you are allowed to, in the comments down below, say whatever you think, as long as it's appropriate, of course. So comment down below. Let me know. Do you think they're going to raise the debt ceiling? Do you think it's not going to happen? I want to hear what you guys have to say about this down below. Thank you so much for tuning in to the show today. We are going to have another video coming out later today about the Cates Law situation here on Objective Media. So make sure you stay tuned for that. I will catch up with you guys next time. Bye-bye.